Manus flat on the canvas. We are ready to rock and roll. Second round of action. There is a cut on Manus.
Jesus.
Martial art chat.
Like my man B-Hop, who got dropped out the ring last night. I need a little judo baby. I need me a little judo baby, and let's do it, Rhonda. Let's hit me up.
See you were filming this. You got a face for radio.
I've got a face for radio.
That's nice.
Martial arts chat.
Martial arts chat.
Hi, my name's Chris Allen, and this is Martial Arts Chat Podcast. Martial Arts Chat Podcast is sponsored by A1 Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear uses the latest cutting-edge boxing gloves and professional and amateur fighters, gym enthusiasts and kickboxers. Local and national gyms in the UK, do yourself a favour and check out a1fightgear.com. And if you're wanting to get into shape and get back in, then go to beastgear.co.uk, use the coupon code MartialArtChat to save 15% off your purchases. They've got core sliders, straps and barbell pads and complete strength and conditioning programs to suit your needs. Finally, we're also sponsored by World of Martial Arts Television, WOMA.tv, produces, finds, acquires, commissions and presents all you ever want to know about martial arts. Discuss exercises and forms from your favourite martial arts, explore martial art philosophies, health, culture and spirituality. Right, that's always a mouthful. Okay, so on the show today we've got Tom the Canine Green. Tom, how you doing? Okay.
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
Cool, yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. Someone I've wanted to come on the show for a while. I've been lucky enough to actually know you from the days of working on building sites, putting bricks down and stuff like that. I know that's going back a little way now.
Yeah, a bit.
And I've just followed you on Facebook and seen your career come to as it is. So obviously I've seen it all happen. So give us a quick breakdown of where it all began, Tom.
Right, God. So basically at school, I used to do athletics, kind of sixth form at school. I was doing okay at that. I was kind of regional at the time. I sort of stopped doing that. Just sort of got to a point where I thought, I don't know how much further I can take this. It sort of got to a level where I realised perhaps I won't go much further than that. But once again, it was quite a good standard that I was running at, as regional level. So I sort of tried to find a sport that I could, that kind of what you put in to you sort of get back out. And, you know, I've played football my whole life and then whatnot. But I realised I started doing boxing because it's kind of, once again, as hard as you work in it, you will reap the benefits from it. I just started doing that basically for fitness. Just didn't really think it would go anywhere, to be honest. And then after 3 months of training, maybe not even that, I got offered a fight. And yeah, I obviously took that fight, went on the show and knocked a guy out in 45 seconds. And it just sort of went from there with the boxing, really. At the same time, I started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Mark Hobbs at KFA Gym. It's part of Nova Força, which is Ricardo da Silva. And I was just training that the whole time. I maybe had 6-7 boxing fights, won an English title doing that. And it just got to a point where a few people were saying, you know, your jiu-jitsu, you've been training it a while. It's a shame you can't have like an MMA fight. And I had followed MMA for a long time and thought, yeah, why not? Let's give this a go. And I just sort of made that transition over to it, really. And at first it was quite a shock because there's so much more to learn, obviously, than boxing. And it was bridging that gap between the boxing and the jiu-jitsu as well. I've always been very flexible, so when it comes to the kicking, obviously that's something I had to work quite hard on, and it's now one of my stronger points. I really do enjoy striking with the legs.
How did you find transitioning from boxing sparring into MMA sparring? How did you find that? Was it different footwork you're having to use? Obviously looking for takedowns and leg kicks as well as just punches. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like when you box, it's kind of, you've got them big gloves on and you can hide behind the gloves a lot. And the style I played was kind of off the shoulder, low guards kind of thing. So you can sit there and when someone steps it right in it, you can just cover up and just kind of hide behind them a lot and just roll everything off the shoulders. It still works in MMA. I'm a strong believer that still works. You ask anyone who comes and spars with me will say, man, he's so hard to hit, because I play that same kind of counter strike movement. It's just the only thing I think, once again, you've got the smaller gloves on, so you can't rely too much on blocking with it. You know, it's, the punches slip through a lot easier. But, and once again, my footwork, I move a lot more on my toes now. Something that I like doing anyway, to be quite honest. You see me, I float around quite a bit, in and out. I don't like standing still and striking really. I like to always be hitting on the move, trying to look for angles, create openings, faking. I'm that sort of striker, I'd say. But yeah, like I said, the transition, it was quite hard at first, because obviously you're just used to boxing in a certain way. And once again, when someone opens up on you, I had a habit of kind of just standing there on the spot, covering up, expecting the clinch to sort of be over and done with and a ref step in, but obviously they're shooting for your leg. So straight away I had to sort of, I had to kind of sort of figure that bridge the gap out almost in that, and just adapt my game a little bit. But definitely my boxing when I fight MMA is a lot different to how I box. I still fight guys who just box. It kind of, I find myself falling back into how I used to box just to go against them. And then when I fight the guys who do MMA, I obviously change the approach a little bit. It's horses for courses kind of thing.
Yeah, so you can definitely see it as well. Like I remember watching some of your fights back. It was at the Queensbury, wasn't it? Boxing league.
That's it.
Yeah. When you're fighting back in Queensbury, and you can probably still find them on YouTube, and then you can watch your videos where you've been fighting more recently, and you can definitely see the difference. You wouldn't think you would never train in kicking before, because your kicks are pretty good. And you cook kicks and knees. You throw your punches well off your knees and your kicks as well, which is really good.
Yeah.
So if anyone just watched you literally as an MMA fighter, they probably would never have thought this guy never used to be able to kick or anything like that, Tom. So So really, so you said you train at Kinetic Fight Academy.
Yes.
Obviously, I spoke to a few of you from there now. Everyone I speak to tends to revert back to your name, Mark Hobbs, as some of their main training partners. So what's it like training at KFA, seeing as, without obviously trying to blow your own trumpet, saying being one of the bigger names there at the gym?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's got everything you need down here. That's the thing. It's I think when Mark first started KFA as a mixed martial arts gym, I think it was around the time when there was not many places that you could go where you got everything.
Yeah.
So you had people like training boxing or Thai boxing somewhere, then maybe doing jiu-jitsu somewhere else. But he was the first person you could sort of come across where he'd done it all. And the first thing you realise with Mark when you meet him is that he is just purely about the martial arts. It's kind of crazy, like...
Yeah, I got that vibe myself.
He comes across as quite a deep thinker sometimes, but it's because he's usually thinking about a technique or something.
Yeah.
It's quite strange. You're having a conversation with him sometimes, and it's almost like he drifts off, but he's too busy thinking probably about something he's going to teach. And it's the fine details with him as well, which anyone that comes down here, even from other gyms, we've had plenty of guys come down and just always go, wow, it's like it's on a different level, the detail in the jiu-jitsu. So yeah, it's but like I said, we've got a good team down here, good team of boys, guys who will 100% be coming on in the next few years. You probably see their faces around. You probably hear of the gym a lot more. Definitely. It's got everything you need down here. Like I said, we've got guys who just want to do the striking side of things with the K1. We've got guys who compete regularly in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's just a good environment, really.
No, and that's the vibe I was getting from a couple of the other fighters as well. It's like one big happy family down there. Everyone looks after each other. There's no big egos really knocking about the gym, which is always nice. You don't need that sort of thing down there. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like I get a lot of people. Obviously, I teach down here myself as well now. I get a lot of people, and their first concern is, will I fit in down there? Am I just going to come down and get beaten the hell out of? And I kind of explain to them, like, the guys are quite cool down there. It's not. I used to box around a lot of these boxing gyms, and you do always get that one guy with an ego in there who it just acts like a dick, basically.
Yeah. There's always the Charlie Zenloffs of the world.
Yeah, it's just but honestly, I can honestly say there's no one down here like that, and if there ever has been, they've just been put in their place straight away too, to the point where they don't really fit in. Like they just that you can tell that they feel like a bit stupid when they try and act like that.
There's no room for people like that. You know, it brings a negative vibe.
Yeah.
Brings a negative vibe to the gym, negative everything to the training.
Yeah.
You just don't need people. And also, potentially people get hurt with these guys, you know, go, instead of 50% sparring, they're going 100%.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, like, I've had people come down here before and they come down purely, I think, sometimes just to go for me. They come down and you can just like, when sparring, and they rock up for the sparring sessions and they will literally try and decapitate you with punches. And it's quite amusing because when I'm sparring in my gym, like, I genuinely think, I don't think there's anyone out there in this who can compete with me. I really don't. I'm so relaxed and calm in there, just used to the environment. And I've had a lot of people come down and find themselves almost like
regretting it.
Yeah, kind of like leopards swimming in the sea, just sort of out their depth a little bit. And, they always say it, but that's the thing. It's like making that transition from the way how you fight in the gym to your actual fight sometimes, which is something that's very big for me. It's something I've got to keep working on. But like I always say, as a martial artist, it's all about progression and keeping up with things and changing. And it's the same there. I've just got to keep progressing in that, because for me, out of everything, that's my weak point in a minute. I've just got to kind of focusing, keeping focus and stuff. That's my everyone always says to me, what's the biggest hole in your game? And I'm more than happy to say that. I don't have a problem with saying that at all. Some people will lie about it and go, they get nervous before fights. Oh, I'm not nervous before fights. But 100% with me is keeping my head in the fights. That's my biggest challenge for me at the minute. 100%.
What do you mean, like, by keeping your head in the fight? What do you mean by that?
Well, just basically how anyone will tell you who's come down here, how I fight in the gym is not half of how I fight when I'm in the cage. I still fight good in the cage, but it's not half of what I fight in the gym. So it's making that transition, and I'm getting people in, like a sports psychologist, help me out with that a little bit and progress me. For instance, like Andy Murray, he was saying, I read a thing about him a couple of days ago where he's saying, he could never, how he was in training matches, how he was in lower matches, he used to perform really well, but could never ever do it when he got to a main tournament. He used to feel like he was playing at half of the ability he was playing at. And he brought in one of these people to talk to him and help him and find the root of the problem. If it's nerves, if it's something deeper lying than that. And he honestly believes, you can probably find this report somewhere, that, that is what helped him be so successful, because he just started winning tournament after tournament after that. So it's something that I'm working on right now as well. And I believe I'll get there with it. And like I said, the best of me is yet to come 100%. I know what I'm capable of. I'm an athlete. This is something I talk about a lot with the guys as well. I think where mixed martial arts is progressing nowadays is that back in the day, people used to get away with not being a natural athlete. There was guys who would go in there and swing it out, not have too much technique about them, but get away with it a little bit. I think now, over the past maybe 6 years, you're looking at it, all the guys at the top are natural athletes. Like, they are, it's the same as football. All the top players, they're athletes. You can't, you find it now, like with the youth system, they can straight away, they'll throw people out who aren't fit enough or naturally gifted. Straight away, I work around football teams quite a lot with coaching and stuff, and they're straight away, they'll assess a kid at the age of however old they may be, even from sort of 12 upwards. And if they're not naturally kind of gifted or naturally fit or possess something that your standard person doesn't, they will literally just chuck you from that. And I do believe it's gradually creeping to MMA, that kind of system now, where every single person who's fighting is an athlete. It's not someone who's just tried to work hard and dig in and grit it out. I do think like the naturally gifted are coming through. I mean, like Anthony Pettis is a good example of that. The Diaz brothers, in a strange way, someone's trying to question my theory with them the other day, but them guys, if you look at the triathlon that they do as well, and people go, they do triathlon. They're doing triathlon, but with good times, competitive times, that if they were triathlon competitors, they'll be running at a regional level and competing at a regional level. So that's the thing. They're naturally gifted.
Their cardio is a different level.
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe that is creeping into MMA now, massively. So, it's something I kind of do believe in. I remember McGregor said a while back, we're all born equal. This is hard work, and I'm completely against that. I just think that's not. That statement was just, I love McGregor and everything, but I just think that's probably one of the worst things he's ever said, because it's proven in your genes that that's not true. It's just proven. Right. Some people, you get a kid, they could have done exactly the same thing their whole life, these two children, and one's always going to be stronger or fitter or faster than another one. It's just not how it works. But I do believe that is creeping in. So everyone is an athlete nowadays that you see in mixed martial arts, and that's even creeping into the lower levels as well. It's
Well, yeah, no one's just coming in now saying, I've done a bit of boxing, I'll give this go, no, disrespect yourself, and I came from boxing, or, I know a bit of K1, I'll have a go at MMA now. And, the thing is, as you said, nowadays, people are learning MMA as a whole from day one. Yeah. So day one, it's what we learn is it's what we're learning MMA. It's not, I'm learning jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai. I know you do individual classes still. Yeah. But when it comes down to it, your MMA sparring, kids, like people like similar to our age, let's say if we were born 5 or 6 years ago, you probably would have got straight into MMA instead of boxing. Someone like yourself.
100%. Yeah, like when I was real young, I had to do karate, and
well, there you are. Yeah.
No disrespect to karate, but like I run my kids' classes down here now from sort of age 5 and upwards, and some of them kids, I say to them all the time, you have no idea how lucky you are to have what you've got right now, because
100%. All we had was Bruce Lee films, didn't we, and stuff like that.
Exactly. So I kind of feel like it's rude to say I wasted my time doing it, but I wasted my time doing karate. If you know what I mean, it's kind of like it's not functional. Let's be honest. Half of it, like you can pick kicks out of it, and I still use kind of kicks out of it. Some of them is maybe like 1 or 2 kicks that I'll throw, but yeah, it's just strange. And we get a lot of the kids come up here and go, oh yeah, I'm a black belt in karate, and you're like, this kid's 9 years old and he's a black belt in karate. How is that possible?
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, mate.
You
say about karate starts and stuff. The only person I can see pulled it off properly in all of MMA, of UFC, is definitely Lyoto Machida. He can pull off karate.
You know what? I trained out in Black House in LA for a month when I last went out there, and he was out there a lot. And the first thing you realise when you meet that guy is he is huge. He's
really,
yeah. I didn't expect it. I went to his gym. He was just at the time he was just opening his gym. This is last year now. The first time I went out there, he was just opening his new gym, and he is a big guy. I didn't realise actually the height of the fella. He's definitely not small. I think I remember from the Jones fight, and you think actually he looks quite small, but yeah, man, he is. He
walks around probably near enough heavyweight.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. He is a big fella, but the crazy thing about him is that he's capable, and he's got that natural ability where he can fit anything somebody teaches him into fighting. So he's obviously got that background in karate, and he obviously believes in it a lot and whatever. But it's just strange how he makes it work. It's like sparring down there, this, that, and the other with him. And it's just, it's just crazy how he makes it work. Man. It's so awkward as well.
Hasn't he got 2 crane kick finishes to his name as well? Were they both against Vitor as well?
He's done one against Vitor, and Randy Couture done one as well, didn't he?
Oh, that was it, Couture, that was it. It was Couture, because Vitor got one from Anderson Silva, I think it was a front kick to the face. I think that was that one.
Yeah. It's literally just crazy, but yeah, he's a very humble guy as well. Like when I went out there, obviously, I was with a guy called Kenny Johnson, who his wrestling's phenomenal. He trains a lot of people. He's the head coach of Black House Gym. The likes of Anderson Silva have come through that. You could go to the Guerras have gone through that. The list goes on and on and on. Currently, they've got people like Brian Ortega, Tony Ferguson out there, and there's some guys I stayed with when I was out there, the Brazilians, and these guys. They've come over to the LA, and they are purely there with one goal in mind, and that's just to compete in the UFC and just just get that gold. And it's their work ethic out there is crazy. There's a very nice guy I stayed with that called Miguel Jacob, and he really did make me feel at home. I remember when I first went out there, it's the first time I'd ever been to America, and I met him, and he just sort of just made me feel so welcome. But again, he's young. He's 22, I think he is. And man, his knowledge, it's just like, wow, man, if I was 22 and had that sort of ability and knowledge, it's kind of scary, man. But it's the same down here with the youngsters. It's like Harry Hobbs you had on the other day. He's been floating around this gym, since he's so young. And he's just grown up in this environment. And again, he's 16 years old, and the skill that kid has got, he's just like basically devoured his last opponent.
I know. I witnessed it,
and it was scary to watch. It was scary to watch because this guy, honestly, backstage, he was giving it to Harry. He was genuinely thinking, what is this kid doing in this cage? You don't belong here, you're too young. And I think when he looked across the cage at Harry, he realised how energetic he was and how up for this fight he was. And you could tell by the guy's face, he suddenly realised what he got himself into a little bit.
He bricked it completely. Yeah. I saw it. You could see Harry come out so confident, and no disrespect to Harry at all. So I like Harry a lot. Yeah. He's sort of, if you see him walking up the street, you think it's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
And I think this guy's seen him come in. I'm 22 years old. I'm heavier. You know what I mean? I've got a pro, not say record, but he's got experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, I thought this would be a nice, easy one for him. I think his coaches did as well, but was it 28 seconds, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was, like I said, it was very aggressive from Harry. It's like that. I say that to a lot of people. Your first couple of fights, it's learning. It really is learning. But he come out and it was just the aggression on him. It was,
no nerves. No nerves at all.
Nerves. It did surprise me. I mean, I made the walk with him, and the whole time he was actually excited about it, which is weird because all the guys from the gym that fought before him, you get nervous. All of them do. Some of them are real nervous, and they sort of freeze up a little bit. I've had it myself where you start feeling a little bit heavy-legged, but Harry the whole time was just desperate to get in there. I think that's the thing when you're young, you're just not scared of anything. And
no, it's the new breed. It's that new, as I was saying, again, if we were born 10 years ago, instead of us standing in football stadiums and stuff like that, we would have been standing in MMA gyms, and that's what Harry's been lucky to come, especially with his old man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. What he's got on a plate for him, Harry, is something else, and he needs to just knuckle down, just take it all on board, because he will genuinely go far. And again, in my head when he first told me he was going pro and what he wants to achieve, I said to him straight away that the whole fitness thing I mentioned earlier about you've got to be a natural athlete nowadays to get that far and stuff, and I was kind of doubting him a little bit, and I kind of forgot he used to play football at a half decent level when he was younger as well, and I kind of forgot that actually he is a little bit of an athlete. That's the thing, and I kind of did forget that. And right before his fight, I'll be honest with you, I used to pick him off in sparring quite a bit and just think, it's just Harry, but he was catching me with a few shots and was moving around quite nicely, and I was like, oh shit, you know what, the improvement over, because he had a focus, the focus on the fight alone, I think improved him massively. So when I was very confident when he stepped in that cage, he was going to smash that guy. But it's just, I said to him the other day, I went, the thing is, when you come out that aggressive, I went, you might get away with it for your first couple where you just really pull it on them. I went, but you'll get that first time. I remember in my first boxing fight, I come out and I swung for the hills, tried to finish the guy. I took a step back and he was still in front of me, looking at me. And that's when you take that deep breath and suddenly you think, okay, I need to settle down. Fight. Yeah, I'm in a fight. I need to work smart here. I need to box smart. I need to move smart. And I said to Harry, you will get that at some point. And it's a weird feeling where you're saying, hang on. The last guy went down real easy because I clipped him with a shot. But you'll get someone who's good at covering or good at moving. And that's when you'll realise you're in your first proper fight.
And a lot of people say, what I don't know if you agree, is that some fighters have told me that you really know what sort of fight you are when you're on your back. You're flat on your back, you're you're a side control dominant, and what you're going to do. How do you get up? And I'd be interested to see how Harry does with that, because he explains how he loves his jiu-jitsu, doesn't he? So
he does. Once again, he's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and by a blue belt, it's not been handed to him. It's not like this is the one thing that annoys me about gyms as well. It's strange. I've rolled in other gyms sometimes, and it's just the belt grading systems. It shouldn't be like that. Getting a belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a major achievement. Once again, it's not like karate where you reach black belt by the time you're 12 years old. It's it's something else, and especially down here, I know Ricardo da Silva and Mark are very, very tough and hard on gradings, and if there's a blue belt down here, they've definitely worked for that blue belt. That's the problem. And Harry, he fully deserves that blue belt, and I can tell.
Legit blue belt, yeah.
Yeah, he's a genuine blue belt. He's starting to compete in a lot of competitions. He's got one this weekend, and 100%. All of us down here, I know we belong where we belong with the belts, probably higher than most gyms, because especially when I went out to LA, I was rolling with a guy out there, and he was a brown belt at the time, and I was only a purple belt. And I rolled with him and tapped the guy out twice in
Nice.
in 2 5-minute rounds. Yeah. And his coach actually come up to me and went, "Look, he's actually competing in the LA Open this weekend. Can you come down to my gym and do more rolling with him?" So
fantastic.
I kind of got an invite down here. It's Stars Gym, it's called, downtown LA. I went down there and rolled with the guy. And once again, it's kind of like I was rolling fine with a brown belt, and I was a bit concerned, like at first, thinking that all these guys are monsters out here and everything. And then I kind of realised, like, I was sitting at purple belt level, but could easily compete with their brown belts out there. And it was just strange.
So,
and then some of the blue belts as well, I was rolling with in other gyms out there. It was kind of like, definitely you guys come in my gym, you would get tapped up easy. It's just strange. It wasn't like I was purposely going around trying to headhunt or anything. I was just, anyone that knows me, when I get with my jiu-jitsu, I'm quiet. It's not like I just kind of jump on things and kill people. I like to move. I like to flow. I like to find myself in positions because I'm constantly trying to learn from it. But yeah, it was definitely, like I'm saying, the jiu-jitsu we've got here is definitely where it needs to be, if above where it needs to be when it comes to belt grading. Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, Nova Force I've been reading into Nova Force massively, and some of the people they've got also training down there, some UFC caliber fighters as well.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy Manuel knocks around there, doesn't he? And you got some top people training with Nova Force, and didn't it all started in Brazil, if I remember rightly? And there's about 5 of them now, gyms. Is there 4 or 5 gyms worldwide?
Yeah, that's it. I think Ricardo come over initially, started his own thing over here, and just you've got the base guys that started training with him, and it's just kind of expanded from there. But once again, like, he runs it pretty well, where wherever you find yourself, it'll be a gym kind of close to you down south. So it's kind of like, and you're free to just sort of roam between them gyms. It's just, and once again, you do get that kind of family feel to it, where it's just like everyone looks after each other a little bit. I'm going to start going up to Ricardo's probably twice a week soon, just to start getting a bit of rolling up there. It's just different bodies, different people, different techniques, different ways of learning. It's just cool to just roll, because again, I want to start competing in a few tournaments over the summer, so it'd be good to sort of get rolling in with people that you're not used to, if you know what I mean.
No, perfect. Keep yourself active and everything like that between your fights. Definitely.
Yeah,
so, obviously the question I want to ask you really is, do you know what's happening next for yourself? Have you got a fight lined up or anything in the pipework at the moment?
Yeah, so I spoke to Jude. He sorts out the fights on Bellator in the UK.
Okay.
We've got a show coming over in June. Now he's said to me, he goes, just if you want to fight on it, let me know. Just get yourself ready. We'll have a fight for you. So that's the base of what I know at the minute. Who against? I don't know yet. I'm sure they'll give you kind of 2 or 3 options as usual.
Yeah.
And we'll just go from there. Really, it's like Bellator's got a lot of cards this year, I believe, in sort of in UK and Europe.
Oh yeah, they're always on. They do like 1 a week almost, those guys.
Yeah, so obviously I'll get on one of them cards for sure. But yeah, at the minute I'm kind of looking at June. It seems to fit in with things a lot better for me. I'm going to make a few adjustments to how I'm training. I'm bringing in a new strength and conditioning coach at some point.
That was going to be my question for you. Yeah, I was going to ask. I'm sorry to interrupt you there. Obviously, I don't want to go into too much your last fight you had at Bellator. I thought you performed well still, but it does come back to what you said earlier about, you don't feel like you're yourself in there. You feel like you're at 50% in there.
Yeah.
And I've seen you training. I've seen you hitting pads. I've seen you sparring. I've seen you fighting Fusion many times, and you just, no disrespect to those fighters, but you do just walk all over them. In Fusion and stuff. So when I saw you went to Bellator, it was like, as you said, slightly different fighter than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. Once again, it's something that I'm working on, and something I've got someone in place to help me with, and that person fully believes that I can overcome that. And I know for a fact there's a lot of fighters out there who use people the same way as I'm using them, and it's something that I would have looked at in the past and just laughed at. If someone said to me, I get anxious and stuff, I was that guy who would laugh at you. I'm not going to lie. I was that guy that would just laugh about.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of strange. I don't like putting a label on it. I wouldn't call myself. I wouldn't say it's anxiety with me at all. It's obviously something else. But it's like I said, I'm not bothered about talking about it. It doesn't bother me. No one can say anything to me that is gonna in a build up to a fight that's going to make me suddenly start changing my mindset because of that.
Exactly.
It's just, yeah, so, I'm just one of them guys that people, I actually quite enjoy having disputes with people before. It probably fires me up more than anything. It's strange. There's nothing worse for me when you go into a fight and the person's been nice. It just feels strange. So,
you feel,
yeah.
you almost feel bad, don't you? You know,
Yeah,
you almost feel like it's like your training partner you're beating up.
Like, I am a very respectful person. I'm actually I try not to be a dick, but when it comes to that kind of stuff, I grew up watching Floyd Mayweather, and it's that stuff I used to find very amusing. But it's kind of weird. Everyone's kind of jumped on the Mayweather bandwagon now, but I was following him from early days.
Yeah, man.
For instance, I remember when he fought Miguel Cotto, and my mate turned around to me. I went, "Oh, Miguel Cotto's fighting at the weekend." I went, yeah. He goes, "Oh, I'm putting a massive bet on him." I went, "Well, that's a stupid idea." I went, "I've been following this Floyd Mayweather guy for a while now." I went, I'm gonna put £100 on him." And back then, that was ridiculous for me, man. I was putting like
that was like 2 days work, wasn't it? 2 days work working landscaping.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, "What am I doing?" But I remember he won, and I was like, "Fuck." So I remember keeping half of my profits from it. But he was the underdog in that fight as well. I remember keeping my profit from that. Yeah. I remember keeping my profit from it and thinking, "Oh, I'm going to halve it. I'm going to keep half of my money, and then any profit that I made from Floyd, I'm going to put on his next fight." And I remember it just rolled over and rolled over and rolled over. And then people started noticing, "Hang on, Mayweather's pretty good." And it every single time, that profit that I made, because to me it's kind of like, well, I shouldn't have this profit anyway. It's kind of like, it was kind of free money from the start. And I just continued to do that. And when he fought with Pacquiao, I looked at what I've made. I already noted it down, what I've made from him. And it was a fair bit of money. But I remember putting on about $1,000 on the Pacquiao fight, because I was so positive he was going to win. And you still had people going, "Oh, Pacquiao's going to win." And I was like, no. They're like, "You're crazy."
The problem with betting on Mayweather nowadays, though, you put £1,000 on, you probably only win 100 back.
Well,
That's the issue.
Even with that Pacquiao fight, it got to the point where, you weren't winning a great deal. And to be quite honest, I really am not a betting person at all. But like I was saying, I started off with no money.
You're playing with their money.
Yeah,
you're playing with winnings.
Money. It's just rolled over. Now I'm not fighting. I've got nothing to bet on, so it's kind of like, I don't think I'll be betting on anyone else that soon. But yeah, like I was saying, I grew up watching Mayweather and just his trash talking and this, that, and the other. And I used to watch his style when I boxed. I really, really deeply looked into his style. You get guys who come down here who play that low guard, and it makes me laugh because it is such a detailed guard. It's not something you can just go, "I'm going to drop my front arm and try and box and imitate him," because it's a very, very technical guard. And unless you understand that, it's not worth playing. You're better off just keeping both hands up and boxing traditional. And I say this, you get all the little kiddies that come down here and they step into the ring and they start dropping that front arm.
Yeah.
And straight away I'm like, no, wait. Learn the basics first.
I do notice in some of your fights, actually, in your MMA fights, now thinking back where you sort of push off from your opponent or get up from the ground and that arm drops. Is that you going back into old school mode, is it? Yeah,
it's a habit. When I went out to Black House, all the guys out there, they're very traditional Thai in the Black House gym, most of them anyway. And they saw me dropping that arm, and I remember one of the coaches go, "You pick that arm up, you're kicked in the head." I was like, "Trust me, I'm not going to get kicked in the head, mate." I went, "There's one thing that you won't change about me, and that's that low front guard." And I think after a week of being there, they're kind of like, "Oh, it's really weird, but you make it work." Like,
that's it, your own style.
And it's kind of like, it's quite frustrating actually. So like, if anything like that, it's quite strange. I'm like, it's not something I'm just doing to try and make myself look good. I actually understand how it works.
Everyone has these weird styles. If we go back, do you remember Keith, Dean of Mean, Keith Jardine? Jardine?
Yeah.
Look at that style, very, very odd stand-up, very strange angles. And nowadays you've got people perfecting it, like Dillashaw and Dominic Cruz, with creating all these different angles and stuff. So
there's a few guys who play it nowadays and play it quite well. What's the guy? He's just fought Anderson Silva, Adesanya.
Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, he plays that low guard. He fits it into his game a lot, and the good thing about him, he changes his styles as he's going through a fight, but he does drop that low guard a lot, and he uses it so well. It's a lot of people see it as an invite to step into you, but you're setting up counter shots the whole time. You're setting up angles from it, and it's so it can be a trap sometimes. Like when I spar people, they go, "Oh, you you keep hitting me with the same shot. It's like, yeah, but I'm not just throwing that shot. I'm setting like a trap.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and you keep doing the same thing. You keep falling into it to the point, like, even when people are moving in a rhythm, this is why I find it so interesting and why I've stuck with it, because it's like a game of chess but sped up, I believe. For instance, I said to someone the other day, they were bouncing on their feet, but they had like a rock to their bounce. And I kept tagging them with a straight right, and it was because their bounce was too big. Every time they bounced back onto that back foot, I'd throw my punch because they couldn't help themselves but come forward onto the punch. If you understand what I mean, they're sort of rocking back to front. Yeah, it's kind of things. It's kind of things like that I just find interesting. It was my technique, you know. It's just kind of that's what excites me about it and keeps me doing it. To be honest, it's an
art, isn't it? You know, boxing is an art form, and I don't want to take anything away from the sport. You know, without the kicks and everything, it is literally a piece of art. You know, it's just a game of chess. It's all about movements, and I don't want to compare it to MMA because that's just a debate all on its own.
Yeah.
You know, but with MMA, I know you've got your kicks and your elbows, it's like full fighting. But with boxing, you know, I find that's so skillful because you've only got your hands, you know, and especially, and then someone like you coming from that background, which nowadays is probably very beneficial because a lot more people are starting their jiu-jitsu and wrestling early on.
Yeah.
You've got the advantage straight away with the stand up, and with your height as well, you fight at lightweight, is that right?
Yeah, I fought at lightweight. I used to fight at featherweight. The cut was,
featherweight. Oh my god! I didn't realise you cut that much. I thought lightweight was bad enough.
Yeah, that was crazy though. That was kind of something that I'd done twice, and then after that, I was like, yeah, this is probably going to be the last time I can do that. The thing is, I was still growing kind of at the time a little bit as well, and I was okay at it and everything, but it's just it's probably just like I was saying, like people are a bit more clued up on things now, and it probably was a little bit dangerous doing it. But I did have 2 fights, and I actually won a featherweight title fighting at that weight. But the reach advantage I had was crazy. It felt like I was fighting a bunch of midgets. Basically, it was crazy. It's
you put your hand, put your hand on their head and just let them swing.
Literally, it was real strange. Like people were saying, like, is there anyone else who's 6'3" who's in that division? And I was thinking, I have no idea, but it was just a strange kind of feeling. But once again, it got to the point where I wasn't enjoying cutting down that much weight because it was a lot of weight. I think back then I was walking around at maybe 75 kilograms.
What were you fighting at?
And that would be 66 kilograms if it's featherweight.
Oh,
so it was like 11 kilograms. But the thing is, like, walking around at 75 back then, it's not like I had loads to strip. It's kind of like the same now. Like I walk around now probably about, I don't know, 78, 79 kilograms. I have to cut to 70 for my fights. And it's the same thing. And like, that can be quite hard for me sometimes. It can be. And once again, it's like sometimes I toy with the idea, do I step up to 77 and put a bit of weight on? Because I eat quite healthy as it is anyway. So it's one of them where I'm sort of toying with that idea a little bit. Like I said, I don't think it'd be hard for me to put a lot of weight on quite quickly, because like I said, I'm always sort of eating very healthy, almost like a little bit of a diet all the time. But it's like, obviously, I remember when I last fought on Bellator, they were talking about catch weights, and they might bring out one in between lightweight and welterweight and things like that. So I don't know, who knows? It's whatever the future brings. Like I said, the sport's always evolving. That's what makes it so interesting and what draws people into it. So I think that would be a good idea. Like the commissioner was saying that there's a rule that Bellator brought in and they implemented it into the UFC apparently, where if you lose, you can't lose any more than 10% of your body weight.
That's probably a good thing though, to stop people doing it, because I think, and there's 4 or 5 years, it might be even longer, there was in the South African organisation, don't quote me for it, but someone did die from, cutting too much weight, and
it makes you feel like shit.
Liver failure, I think it was, or something.
Yeah. Anyone who's cut weight will tell you straight away, it is fucking grueling, man. It is not nice. We've
seen the videos. You've seen the Cyborg video, which is great, and she's a tough girl,
Yeah. It does play with your head quite a bit as well. It gets to sometimes it's points where you're like, why the hell am I doing this? Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, I've been quite lucky this time. I've been talking to a guy. I to an agency called Epoch Agency, and they've got a new kind of a nutritionist team, but he's based in America. That's the only problem. But he's sort of just been talking to me a little bit, like, you know, next time we can do this, we can do that, and so hopefully that'll make it easier, because a lot of the time I am just winging it. I'm just going, I'll be able to cut that weight. So there's probably better ways of doing it 100%. So hopefully, bringing him in will help massively.
Definitely.
Like I said, a few changes this time should help me. I'm actually going to go start boxing as well again at another gym. Just go down there. There's regional champions, southern champions down there.
What's the name? Can you mention the gym?
Yeah, it's just over in Three Bridges. Yeah, Three Bridges Amateur Boxing Club. Like I said, they've got pros training out there as well. So I'm going to head over there and start getting a bit of sparring in over there eventually. Just like I said, you just got to try these things, try and see what people have got to absorb the knowledge, what they might have, see if you can fit it into your game. That's what makes you so good as a martial artist. It's your ability to transfer what you learn into a game. Whether your game's small, whether your game's large, it is that ability to transfer into a game what makes you what you are.
And also, you know, if you're training with this new breed, as they call them, these up and comers, the Harry Hobbs of the world, you know, you're keeping relevant with all these new things these kids are learning as well, you know, as well as teaching them.
Absolutely. And I think the good thing about these guys is we've got a few kiddies down here who've got the potential to be very good. And you just know you've got to keep on top of your game, because there's going to be a stage where you're going to want to slow down, and these kiddies are just going to be getting faster and faster and better and better. So it's like you have to keep pushing yourself the whole time. It's definitely scary, the youngsters that are coming through.
I know, it's great. It's especially how young some of a lot are coming to the UFC now. One thing I want to ask you is, with your upcoming Bellator fight, obviously you haven't got your opponent. Yeah. Let's say, obviously, when you get a win this time round, which I'm sure you will, is there anyone in particular you'd like to call out at all? Any particular name? You know something. I mean, like, I'm one for social media. Yeah, I know there's a few things recently, like Masvidal was saying about the whole social media thing. I don't mind it. I think it's, you know, it helps promote things. It's what made the sport the sport. You know, 100%.
Media, who's going to know about it? Now, you know, I constantly see the likes of Dylan Dennis talking on there, and I would love to fight Dylan Dennis. I think he's great.
Amazing.
I think he's great. I enjoy seeing what he says, all his banter with people, and his fight talk. But for me, he's like a cheap version of I don't know. He's trying to copy his mate McGregor, but just can't do it. So it becomes quite embarrassing sometimes. But I haven't done it yet. But I'm 100% going to start commenting on some of his stuff. You know, the whole team Death Squad, when they always go out against Dennis, it's quite amusing watching that. Like the likes of Gary Tonin having to go at him and stuff. So I would quite like, just for the sake of the whole ride, to have a fight with him, mainly because you just looked at his first fight and it was like, oh man.
Well, he's less experienced than you as well, isn't he? Fights.
I mean, for him, on paper, what a great fight. What a great fight that would be. Bellator can arrange that. Think about it. Dennis, I've just come off of a loss. I've got a better record than Dennis. You know, I think it's definitely a fight that you know, like, it would benefit. I
feel like they'll treat you as they're throwing you thinking they're like sort of throwing you to the wolves. You sort of feel it as,
absolutely. But
good. That makes it want to fight better, surely.
Yeah, it was just it would be great. I wouldn't mind that fight at all. Another thing I've seen recently is I don't know what Sage Northcutt's doing with his career. He's
at one FC at the moment, isn't he? He's in like Japan or China, wherever he is over there now. Yeah.
Okay.
He's at one FC competing.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I upset him recently. I thought he put some fucking spinning kick on a punch machine with his gay little cheesy grin afterwards. Yeah. So I put a comment on there, and then it all went off and people started messaging me trying to stick up for him, and he's just one of these guys I just can't stand. I don't know what Dana White was ever thinking, trying to make him like his golden boy. It's just man, ain't my cup of tea at all. There's all these guys, you know. It's just that kind of interests me, and you know, people go to me, oh, you reckon you're about to get that fight? 100% through social media you can get fights. Trust me, 100%. It doesn't take a lot just to start saying a few things to these guys, and before you know it, it blows up. 100%. Like I said, I might figure out what the next move is soon and start baiting people in a little bit.
I can't. As I said, I know you're not usually that sort of person, but I know you love your social media, and I know you're not faking it when you're baiting these people out just to get publicity. I know you actually mean it. You want these fights, you know. You want it to happen, and no, I do believe it will happen for you as well. You've still got many years of fighting left in you, I believe.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
So are you? So it's future. So we're focusing on Bellator now. So with the win at Bellator, do you think are you basically telling us if you win there, you're going to grab that mic and ask what Dylan Dennis is saying?
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan last time. Obviously, he went a bit tits up. But 100%, man. I'm going to bait him out this time, to be honest. I know they're planning on giving him a fight soon. His little bands have been given up or whatever. But again, like the whole thing with him, you can see the transition he's trying to make into MMA. Currently, his stand-up, how he's moving like kind of McGregor moves or Gunnar Nelson, and it's just like he's moving like that, but doesn't understand it at all. Obviously, I'm not disrespecting your ground game. It's obviously great, but once again, I'm a brown belt as well. I'm not scared of his ground game by any means. He loves jumping on heel hooks. He loves jumping on legs. It's like Tony said, he's the guy that's never really won anything. So I'm more than happy to go. Oh, well, I would love to fight him. I think it would be great. And at the same time, I think it would be quite comical, the things that would be said on both teams' behalf. So.
Well, with if you get a quick win in June, you know, uninjured, you know, or anything like that, so you don't get any sort of any fight ban because of injuries or anything like that, then yeah, why not? Why not have a quick turnaround?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, like I said, watch this space. We'll see what we can do from here. I think, to be honest.
Well, good stuff, Tom. Well, I'll say we're going to wrap it up there.
Cool.
Before we finish up, I'm going to give you the opportunity now. Just give a shout out to any sponsors, any training partners. You know, anything at all, your social media, give a shout out now. Now's your time.
Yeah, so guys, follow me, Tom K9 Green on Twitter and Instagram. Always put up quite comical things, to be quite honest. Just shout out to Seven Sins Tattoo. They've been with me from the start. He's Chick Child. He's a great tattooist. There's too many of these guys in the industries who are just like winging it now because there's money in it. He's a genuine tattoo artist, and he's very, very good at what he does. Check him out at Seven Sins Tattoo. And like I said, it's the Epoch Agency, looking after me, my management crew, and just Mark Hobbs, KFA Gym, all the boys down at KFA Gym. What you've done over the years is great. Couldn't do it without you. So I'm just kind of looking forward to what the next thing holds for me, you know.
Change your heart.